Hello, good morning, everyone. No copyright infringement intended for the song we are playing. So, as usual, guys, as you connect, first of all, we have an amazing guest with us in the house. But before we start, as usual, let's do our best to share with our loved ones. And please would make yourself visible in the comment section. Let's know where you're watching from or who's watching. You like this song?
I do.
Okay. Um, I'm wondering something. Like, let me see. Let me send you the link. Do you have the link now?
Um, no.
Why am I not seeing it? Hello, Bro. How are you doing? Happy weekend to you. Okay, I got it now. Okay, I did send you the link.
Got
Alright.
it. Thank
Happy weekend to you too. Yes, I am good. And you? Hey, hey.
you.
Oh, I see. It's fine. I understand. Thank you for your presence. Let's just give few time for all this as usual. Natiku, hello sis. Thank you for joining. So you're just giving few minutes for some people to have no for those who follow creative and independent minds. Happy weekend to you too, Emmanuel. They always it takes some time for them to have the notification to join. So that is why I always give few minutes so that they can have that notification that we are live to them. And also this is an opportunity for us who want to share with loved ones, share it in groups, and let's keep the discussions going. And then I switched to Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. One more minute to go. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime, jingle bell time. And blowing the brushes of fun. Now the jingle of just jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell chime, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty no copyright infringement intended for all the songs we are playing. Jingle bell time is a square time to go greeting in one horse sleigh. Jingle up, jingle horse, pick up the jingle around the block. Mix and mingle, jingling feet. That's the jingle bell rock. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chiming, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in the Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. Okay, guys, it's been a great time. We hope all those who were sharing, were done sharing, so that we all can be active in this amazing conversation. As usual, it's not a sermon, it's not a talk, it's always a conversation. So we can only know those who are active and watching with us by your activity in the comment section. So first, before we start today, we have an amazing guest with us in the house, and it's really a privilege to have this amazing woman with us. You know, the people who are builders, natural builders, the people who are natural encouragers, as well as we have good time wasters. But I'm so blessed to say we are honored to have a very, very dynamic, compassionate, creative, um, compassionate. I said that already. Like I'm looking the right words to use. Like she's also so amazing that to me as a person, I can say she has like a very, very motherly spirit. Motherly means she's very welcoming to not specific people, but to anybody that she comes in contact with, and very intentional. I think that was the last word I was looking for. Intentional. Like she's very intentional. And so this topic, I really have to give credit to her because she came up with this amazing topic. And as I said, some people are builders. She's an amazing builder that if you come to her or you come close to her, you come anywhere related to her, you feel that energy, that building energy, you know. We live in a generation that everybody wants to show forth what he or she is doing, but there's some people, like typically if we look at parents and grandparents, there are this group of people or family, close family, are this group of people that are always in the background and not concerned about what you want to show for, but just concerned about you making it, you achieving your purpose. And is that type of person we have today with us. She is an entrepreneur, she is a Christian, she is a mother, she's a wife, she is super creative. And last week I was honored to attend one of her event, Creative Push, and that is just to tell the type of mindset she has. She always think that we all can keep pushing each other and in our different creative zones, which is really a blessing. So without talking too much and without further ado, please join me, great people. Welcome Mrs. Sonia Mikwe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to have someone think highly of you. Um, this young lady here has been encouraging me. So all of these amazing accolades that she's giving, I'm just like, who's that? Who's she talking about? So, so thank you for, I guess, esteeming my thoughts or wisdom enough to share with your people today. So we met on the campus of a local university where I had a certain role, and we ended up working together for almost a year, if not more.
Yeah,
And
almost a year.
almost a year, if not more. And then I happened to leave that role. But what I realized is that the lives and the people that you meet in any institution, any job, any role, that they call it networking, but really it's relationship building, and it goes with you forever. And you never know who you're going to meet that's going to not just impact you, but possibly impact your whole world and the people you know. I don't care if it's the janitor, I don't care if it's the president. A lot of times we don't acknowledge everyone in our lives the way that we could. But first, it's the God in you. So I'm going to talk today, but there's no way I can do any type of discussion about any topic without first giving thanks to God and all He's done in my life, because I wouldn't be anywhere today without Him. So this topic today is called Purpose and Peace Are Personal Provisions. And I want you to think about that for a moment. Purpose and peace are personal provisions. So when you think of the word provisions, provision is all about, something that's already been provided. It's there. You're not still looking for it. And so while in life we may go and strive for our purpose, if we really just look within and look up, we'll realize that, maybe we had it all along. We just had to open our eyes and remove the distractions. So the reason why this topic came to mind, I was actually watching a holiday movie. So this holiday music that was just played is very appropriate.
Oh.
The other day, and I won't tell you which movie it is because I don't want to spoil it, but
Yeah.
I'm big. I love movies, so I don't like it when people spoil movies. So I'm not going to say the name of the movie, but I will say it's on Prime Video, and it's a new movie. So it just came out like 2 weeks ago. So I'm watching this film, and the main character is all excited about, the holidays, everything's going smoothly, and he shows up to work and he gets laid off. Now, mind you, it's like a week before Christmas or a couple days before the Christmas holiday, and not just him, but hundreds of people are packing their bags and leaving their job.
Oh.
And it wasn't that he wasn't an asset to his company. It wasn't that he wasn't, a great employee. They said it's not personal, it's business. And that's tough to swallow because, as a business person, anyone who is a business person, hopefully you make some of it personal. Hopefully you started that business for personal reasons, which goes back to purpose. But to hear someone say it's not business, it's not personal, it's business, and then to just send you with your suitcases on your way when that was supposed to be your provision, that was supposed to be your resource, it would break anyone's heart. It would break the bank, it would break the family. What do you do? So that's how I've pretty much looked at my life the past year. When you take away the work side of things, as far as working for money, working, and eventually at some points we sometimes make money and idle. So working to the point where maybe you're forgetting what you always wanted to do, what God told you to do, what you're drawn to. When we exchange that, and please excuse my background, I told my child to be quiet, but hey,
It's
that's what
fine.
happens. So when you exchange your will, your desires, your needs, your passion, and your calling for a paycheck, you've pretty much sold your soul. You've pretty much sold your life to a dollar bill. So that's where purpose comes in. And that's really where God has to come in, because I know I personally had to tell God, listen, not my will, but yours. And we hear that a lot, but to really finally do that requires you to do things that maybe you don't want to do. It requires you maybe to leave a job that you love. And you might love the money, or you might love the status. It requires you, to step in the mud some, to get your feet wet, to pull your hair back, put the Vaseline on, and not the type of fight that hurts anybody, but fight for some things that and some people that matter more than any number in a bank account ever could. We get two things in life that we really spend. We can spend our money and we can spend our time. And when people hire you, they are paying you for your time. They are paying for your creativity. They are paying you for your mind. But that's why I love the concept of creative and independent minds, because you get to be independent of that. You get to be independent of, kind of just giving away your creativity to others. Are you using it for the purpose that you were designed to do? So I want to tagline this, and I'm not going to be here long, so I hope I'm halfway through. It's not business. It is personal. Purpose is personal. It's absolutely personal. It's not what your mama or your daddy wanted you to do. It's not what generations before you and the family lineage has done their whole existence. Everybody was a doctor. Everyone was a lawyer, but you want to go paint some trees on a canvas. Hey, do it. Because we know we only get one life, but to be in a place where you're living out your truth and your authentic creativity can shine without the politics and the confines of someone else's demands on you and the pressures of life, I think is winning. So sometimes with business, when you think of the word business, I like to think of it as busyness. And so there's two sides of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes we can busy ourselves with, oh, yep, I'm making $1. I'm making more money. My bank account's looking good. I can pay my bills. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. But when you look at yourself in the mirror at night, are you pleased? Do you feel like you've made a difference? And so I, for one, decided to, more than once in my life, I've had a beckoning or there's been a beckoning or a call to change a job. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. It's not that we can all just quit our jobs and then go do what we want to do, because it's not logical. I'm not telling you to do that. Don't go do that and then come try to sue me, because I can't help you out. Sorry. It's not. But if you come to a place in your life where you know that season is over, you have to walk into your new season. You have to take steps into the new realm of your purpose. So whereas I've had many titles or jobs, all of them mainly in education or something with writing or editing, they've all prepared me. So I'm not saying that every single position that you're in, it doesn't matter, because they do. They all make you prepared for your purpose. But first and foremost, our ultimate provision comes from the source. And there's only one source. There's only one source that's allowing for that money to happen. There's only one source that's allowing you to have the health in your body and the strength to do what you need to do. There's only one true source that's giving you the time, and well-being to be who you are and go towards what you need. And that's God, hands down. Everything else is just a resource. And if you think of the prefix re, it means again. So it's just recreating that same source power again to you and giving it to you in your hand. But no, it all comes from above. So I have this, I'll call it a word of encouragement on my desk at work now. And I don't get to sit much because I'm teaching first grade. So first grade.
Yeah.
It says, but first pray. Because a lot of times we just want to go with the flow, do what we're used to doing. We wake up and we're in automatic mode. We're almost robots sometimes. I wake up, I drink my coffee, I go to work. I don't drink coffee, but I'm just saying. I go to work, I do what I got to do. I eat lunch, I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym, but I want to. All these things that we just, automatically have built into our day. But first and foremost, and all day, I know I can't stay in a purposeful mindset without continuously praying or thinking about why I'm there. And that's really the whole purpose of a purpose anyway, is just purpose is the why. You know, we have so many questions in life. We have the who, we have the what. Who am I? What am I going to do? Where am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? When is this going to come? But linking all of those pieces and all those questions and answers together is the why. So why am I doing what I'm doing? I go home at night and I go home tired and I go home sometimes frustrated and I go home excited. But through all of those feelings, what's holding it all together is that I'm in my purpose. And it may not look like someone else's purpose.
Yeah.
It's never going to be something that everyone's going to look at and say, oh, why are you teaching? You can make so much more money doing this, doing that. Yes, I could. But when I look in those students' eyes and I see them starting to read, whereas when I had college students, you know, they're writing essays and I'm grading long, you know, papers. And if I'm helping people in business, you know, I'm helping people writing their theses and their dissertations or their books. So looking into their eyes when they finally get it, that moment where it clicks, where they can sound out a word, or when they finish that paragraph in the APA format, whatever it might be, or whatever I'm working on with someone, it's joy, it's peace. And I think joy, peace, and health are honestly true prosperity, because no matter how rich you may feel in a moment monetarily, those same rich people that we idolize every day, we look at, you know, in the limelight, unfortunately, what do we hear about them? On drugs, stressed out, you know. And unfortunately, some don't even continue with their lives by choice. So to know that money is never the full answer, it just brings a level of peace that's not emotional. I used to be someone who's super drawn on emotion. And mind you, I still feel my emotions and I feel them very deeply. But I'm learning not to let them move me. It's kind of like something that's virtual. So like e-learning or esports, right? They're not real. They're kind of online. Well, emotions are things that try to move you, but they don't have to because they're not real. They're not really tangible. Whereas love, joy, peace, and the other fruits of the spirit, they're not emotions. They're not feelings. They're things you have no matter how you feel. So yes, you may see me walking down the hallway at my job and I may look stressed. I may feel stressed in a moment, but I've got the love in my heart and I've got love. God is love. He said he sent his only son. He gave because of love. I have peace, and peace is really just knowing who you are, you know, that who question, knowing whose I am, and being assured that, hey, the God that created everything is my father. Why am I going to worry? Do I worry? Yes, I feel worry, but that's not what moves me. I don't let that virtual, you know, that intangible feeling move me. Sometimes I do, not going to lie, but that joy, that peace, and that love, those are actually fruit of the spirit. And I like how that scripture, and don't get me the scripture, trying to give you the actual place to find it. I might tell you later. But I like how it says fruit and not fruits. You know what I mean? So like they're all one fruit. It's not like different fruit. If you're truly moving in your spirit, which I really think in your soul and spirit is where purpose comes from, not in the busyness of the mind and the body and what we're supposed to be doing to make money. No, money is not our God. And I think too much, you know, we don't admit it, but if you really think about why are you doing what you're doing? So that's the type of self-reflection I've had to take recently. Just really stepping away from the distractions and really getting into purpose. I used to not like the word purpose. For some reason, it bothered me. And it was probably because I wasn't living authentically. I was going with the flow. Now, mind you, when I graduated from college, I wanted to move to California and I wanted to try to write movies or something, or maybe be in movies or sing, or creative people, we're pretty multifaceted. We're very creative in many different ways. So if we practice and we work on it, we can get a skill and, do it. By the time I left college, however, I was married. I had a child. So I did what I said I would never do. I started going to school to be a teacher. I watched my mom teach, and she was an amazing teacher. People still call me Miss Franklin's daughter to this day. And I was like, how's your mom doing? She was their teacher locally. But I never wanted to be a teacher because I watched her, and she would stay at school till 11 at night, work like the janitors would literally have to let her out of the building because she was until they were done. Just to keep her classroom and everything in check. And she did things outside of her even realm of understanding just by using faith and love. So I know for a fact my mom was in her purpose. I didn't want that to be my purpose. And that's probably why I didn't like the word purpose, because I felt the draw, but I wanted to do other things. So I decided to teach out of convenience. I knew I was a mom. I had young kids. I said, if I'm a teacher, I have summers off. I can be off by 3 or 4 p.m. and be home with them in the evenings, which matters too, because we can't forget that purpose in business, it's not all just about that. We're not robots. We're not made to just work. We have families. And so as a mom, and I have 5 children, 4 biological, and 1 is my stepson, who is my child still. We can't just forget about that. It should actually come first. Yeah. So that drive for me to have a job that was sustainable and could help take care of my family also had to be balanced with, can I balance my time as a wife, as a mom? Because what I don't want to do is come home and make the best, most powerful impacts in the lives of so many, and then come home, my own children don't even know who I am. So that, I think, is a challenge when you're in your purpose, is to, and if you're outside of your purpose, just to be aware that, society pushes, especially on females, it's tough because they push, you got to do this, you got to come home, cook and clean, you still got to go to work, and you got to make sure the kids are ready and do, it's a lot of pressure, and it's on both male and female. But I know I'm kind of jumping around and I'm losing my train of thought, but I think the message there is just balance is key. And don't forget about you. Don't forget about your family, and never, ever try to walk in anything, purpose or just life, without your creator and your father. So I guess my charge for today, and you can ask a question. If I start to say something and stop, that's typical me. So I'm not even going to pretend that it's just the moment. So just say it in the chat. I can't see the chat, but Lucy can let me know. I want to leave you with this charge today to be present and remain progressive. So I was teaching my young ones this week, about adding the suffix ing. I'm a grammar person because I do English. That was my background.
I know.
So that ing, that ing we add, if you didn't know, it means something is present and progressive, right? So yes. I am speaking, like you are listening, you are watching, you might be eating, or you might want to be sleeping, right? But it's something that's happening now, and it's continuing, essentially. So when you're creative and when you're in your purpose, I just want to remind everyone just to be present in the now. We all have a past. We all have, things that have happened to us, things we've done. I want to apologize to all the teachers out there in elementary school, like K-4, because I thought I can come on in there and breeze and have it easy. I've been teaching. I got that down. No, it's a whole new world. Yeah. Imagine your child or yourself at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and then multiply it with a classroom of 24. It is a job that is not respected and loved enough. But I say all that to say, even in moments when you don't feel productive, because there will be seasons when you are in your purpose where you don't feel productive, where you might feel stagnated. And maybe it's a time where God is trying to download things into you so that then you can, let it out properly. Um, still just be mindful that you are being progressive if you keep your mind on him and you keep walking out the steps that he gives you daily. And from day to day, those steps might change. From month to month, the outcomes might change. From year to year, your position might change. From decade to decade, you may be a new person completely as far as what you value and what you care about, because that's just how life is. But just remain present, progressive, and always not necessarily doing something, but being who God made you to be. And that's purpose. I feel like I had something else to say, but the one scripture I want to emphasize, since it is the holidays, especially with Christmas season coming up, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that whosoever believed on him would not perish but have everlasting life. So purpose, I believe, has a lot more to do with love. You have to get into your heart and kind of outside of just the total logic. I'm not saying your emotions now. I'm saying get into his will, and his will is going to always be driven by love, which is deeper than just always like I always say, the paycheck. And when you love, just like that verse did, you have to give, and it's a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of your time. It might even be a sacrifice of your money if you're not in a position where you're making the money you want to make. But if I were to look at and this was a question though you want to ask, but I'm going to answer it now. If I were to look at my young self, back at young Sonia, maybe when I was 9 or 10, I would remind her, number one, your purpose is personal. So don't worry about what even mom or dad or sister, brother, uncle, friend, teacher, doctor, lawyer tell you to do. Just get in a good relationship with God and let him reveal to you who you are and what you need to be doing in your life. And to never sign up solely for financial gain. That's not purpose. That's survival. And we were built for more than just survival. We were built to thrive. We were built to be more than conquerors. There's a God in you, and you are capable. Your capacity, if you don't have it, ask God for it. The more I've learned to humble myself and really, truly, honestly ask God for things, small or big, I don't care if it was just help me to be able to smile today. Some days it gets like that.
Yeah.
He'll answer you, but you got to make it personal. Can't just be walking in busyness. And business is great. And I'm still learning how to take the time to manage my business better and well. It's probably not a great sentence, but better. But don't ever let the personal side of things, which involves love, joy, and peace, and his love and how we express it to others, don't let that slip for, financial gain, because that's not purpose. So be present in the moment. Yes, the future is great. We're going to plan for it, but be present and progressive, and that will drive your productivity. That's my thought. And I think that's all I have.
Hello guys. Can we first of all send some hearts to this amazing discussion? Like, I have been learning. Purpose is personal. That's the first key message I've taken. Purpose is personal. Did any other person take that message? Oh, by the way, for everybody connected, I see amazing people. I see Sylvia, I see Alice, I see Moses, I see amazing people in the comment section. Who else do I see? Ojong and Franklin, Emmanuel. So that's cool. So all of you, we are blessed to also have you with us. And everybody's thought, everybody's comment, everybody's remark is always welcome as usual. And again, this is when my own, I call it Big Sister and the epitome of wisdom. So why do I call her the epitome of wisdom? Is one of the reasons I want to have you guys to hear some of the things I hear from her. So as I said, the people, the way you meet the bill, you become things you think about yourself and you think you're stupid. But you need to see some people who see beyond the physical, beyond what is happening now, beyond some things. You get it? Like I took some minutes, by the way, this moment to reflect on her personality. It took me a while to come out with the words because It's really like difficult, and I had to remember my four grandparents that I spent a lot of time and with my parents. You know, your parents want you to get things right. We love them so much, but when you're younger, they want you to get things right. But grandparents are just there, like whatever you tell grandma, they want to beat me. She's like, come here, come here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for this person. I want to go to this school. This person is refusing. Like I remember I had an agreement with my grandmom. That's my paternal grandmom. Everybody who knows me know I'm very close to her. Like I wanted to go to a particular school at a particular time. Everybody was against it.
Mm.
Everybody. I went and told her that it's my school and everybody's against it. And I still remember till this day how she planned the things she told us to do, like me to do with her. And just that I go to that school.
Mm.
Yes, after everybody's like, oh, we were the one who sent you to this school. I'm like, no, it's only grandma that can tell you the other part of the story. So she's like that. Mrs. Miko is really like that. Is this person that if you have a goal, compassionate, when I use the word compassionate was not just because it's a dictionary word, but as I said, I had to really take outside to reflect on like what words, what like are the real actually what I have seen. So compassionate in the sense that I knew her personally in two levels. She said colleague first, but I always like to state things. First, it was not colleague. First, it was supervisor. so yes, it could be. You could say it's still a colleague at work, but I want to use supervisor. So first, she was supervising me in writing. Then I got a job that she employed me, and I worked with her. And as she said, she tried to get into like if you have a writing issue or you want you bring a like I saw it first from my writing. I will just move into this new system of lighting, and I wasn't sure about a lot of things. But guess what? I didn't even contact her for that. Somebody else did, which I see says divine, and everything is good. It's for good. So when that happened, the way she took her time to like go through like line by line, trying to see like she's not from a science background with all the scientific jargons in it, and she's still trying to really identify where she can be of help for me was really different. And coming out to her office the first time, and I see like the energy she put in other people. And I always tell her this, man, you have to be the mother for everybody. So she's really that compassionate. And that is why I ask everybody now, do you think where you are, you're serving people or you're serving according to your purpose or according to money? Because I think that is the essence of a conversation like this. We live in a time that we have a lot of pressure. You know, when you take a container, be it a container of water, rubbing oil, whatever, once external pressure has been applied to it, what happened to the internal content
Mm.
is forced out. So that's why when you have to take a liquid or something from a container, we need to apply some pressure, right? For it
Mm.
to come out. That's the same thing. We all have our individual purposes, as she has put in a good way. Purpose is personal. But we live in a world that we are exposed to a lot of things. We are receiving a lot of things externally. And this thing, she said another thing, survival mode. Like, yes, we all need money to survive, but is working for money a purpose? Is a profession the same as a purpose? That is a question that, of course, is not just to say yes or no. We always say creative and independent minds are opportunity for us to reflect about the topic, to reflect about the thing to say individually. Yes, because at the end of the day, if you come and listen or come and talk, and we do the same thing, there's no essence of creative and independent minds. But if one person come and listen to a conversation like this and do something different, then we have fulfilled the purpose for that day.
Mm.
So we all individually just want to be very intentional. She's done a very great and awesome job in really trying to explain like how she came or explain, not even trying, like perfectly explaining how she came up with this amazing topic. As I said, all credits to this topic came to her. And guys, if I say God is something is so very important to be in the spirit to know the right people to call. Are we all blessed having her? Because I'm blessed. And I'm going to share two particular reasons why I know it's a divine alignment. For those who have watched the two previous sessions, she has said two things that I just say, okay, then she's a white person. And these align not to what I said, by the way. So I'm checking the comment section. So wherever you're watching, let's know. And thank you so much. One of my own mentors in business, like big coach when it comes to dealing with human beings. Chief Dr. Tony Curtis is in the house.
Okay.
I am blessed to have you, Doc, with us. He's a CEO of a microfinance in Nigeria. So I am so blessed to have amazing minds like yours in the house. So guys, let's also feel free. Thank you all. Everybody saying absolutely thumbs up, stuff like that. That's what we have in the comment section. Guys, let's feel free to ask questions, because the other way we can really live in accordance to our purpose and advocate for ourselves is by asking questions. But guess what? Because a lot of times or sometimes we are in the survival mode. We just want to survive. We are scared of asking those real
Mhm.
questions. So we really can fulfill a purpose when we are bold enough. Like the way some people make Jesus to look, I'm like, some people Jesus is too good. The Jesus I know is not that good. Because the way people make like Jesus is the yes guy, but he wasn't.
Mm.
It's that guy who came and people were doing bananas and he flipped tables around. He was not flipping those tables smiling. So if we have to face the reality, we need to know that there's a difference between good and bad, and there's the difference between our purpose and our profession.
Mhm.
So yesterday, this is one of the things I also had to reflect, like, okay, purpose. What is the difference between a purpose? Because a lot of times you can think that you have a good job, and that's what she's lay emphasis on. And that's one of the things also I have seen in her, and that's why I believe so much. And I love it so much because she's taking those bold steps that, to me, that is what I'm supposed to do, but I don't see many people doing that. I'll give an example. It's only in America that I hear 50-50 in marriage. Since I was born, I've never heard anything like that. It's 50-50 in marriage. Like, people call me, I'm bringing half of these. So, but if you see people in this system who really take our time to understand what is my role, not just in marriage, but I'm just using that as an example. For me, I could say it's a cultural shock.
Mhm.
Like, 50-50, how it's like a contract. This is what I will bring, and you don't bring this, it's over. And you can relate it to a lot of other dramas happening. But this is someone, when you talk with her, it says she's intentional. You know that she knows her role. Okay, as a mother, as a wife, what do I bring in? And God, of course, should be very pleased with the way she's very, because she's really intentional in her job. Now, without talking and talking, because guys, I can do that. She said some amazing things that I don't want us to miss them, which are some of the things that we have been talking about. So I just see like these topics are divine. I didn't decide this topic today. She basically did. And the topic last 2 weeks was designed by Raphael. Raphael said something, living in the now. Did you all hear Mrs. Mite saying that same thing? That's what I talk about. When people are living intentional, some things are consistent. Did we all hear when she mentioned like the main thing is you living in the present and blah blah blah? Did you hear all that, guys? I heard that and I said, okay. Second thing she mentioned is what? It's all about identity. If you go back to what like Raphael was talking with living in the now and us being spiritual, well, we've had like two conversation with Raphael, but like, yep. So one of it he talked about really living in the now. That was really the topic of the day. And that living in the now talks about us being in survival mode, talks about us maybe focusing on what happened in the past or what we want to achieve in the future. And we fail to look where we are, what we have to do. And so that is to say, to each and every one of us connected here, just take out this time to really reflect, like, are you living your present? Because she may have spoken just for maybe you can say 10 to 15 minutes, but there were a lot of things to take from everything she said. There were a lot that I know, of course. I may not be able to write it down, but there were a lot of things she really said that if we can apply just one, we can improve and be intentional with one. Obviously, so many things will change. If you have a question, please feel free to ask. I always have questions, by the way. That is what it is to live intentionally. So if you don't have, I'll help you. But feel free to ask yours first. So you can live intentionally and don't say yes to everything.
Yes, questions are good. I have a question for the audience. I
Okay.
want you to ask everybody where they are from. I want to see where in the world they're listening from.
Okay. So guys, I since I know most of the people connected, but I want everybody just type in the comment section where you're watching us from. Then, with that being said, as you're typing, I'll try to give a little bit background. But I'm also proud to say Mrs. McCray has been a creative and independent mind member. So she's part of the family. She's not a guest. So, and I'm blessed. I'm grateful that she's one of those I know. You know, you can have a vision, just as I said in the video I sent this week. You can have a vision, but it takes people sometimes to encourage you. People can talk out your vision, or people can send you into survival mode. So if you have something and you see people who really are there to promote you, something I personally don't take for granted. So Mrs. McCray is one of those. I go sometimes on the profile and I see the number of times she have shared the discussions or the videos of Creative Mind is a blessing. Also, the fact that I see her watching, because that sometimes when we talk, it's like, oh, I was watching this video when you talk about this, and I always tell her that is typically what my dad does. My dad watch a video and start watching, then call me. Okay, I'm watching this your video now. So I'm really blessed. That is to say, for generally for the audience we have, as is as of now, most of my audience, if not about 70%, are Cameroonians. I'm a Cameroonian originally. So I'm blessed to say I'm not the person who say, okay, your people don't support you. You have people who, yeah. So more than 70%, I'll put it that way, of my audience are from Cameroon. Maybe Cameroonians based in different countries. Like we have people connected here. I can say so guys, let's drop that in the comment section. But I'm going to read based on the everything. We try to do one-on-one connection with everybody. So okay, good. Thank you for all those who have dropped their locations in the comment section. So we encourage everybody to do that. So I'll say most of the people who are connected now, I'm giving like generally the countries what they are. That's what I'm going to give now. You have Cameroon, you have Nigeria, you have Turkey. Guys, I want everybody to type so I don't leave out your name, your country. So we have Cameroon, we have Nigeria, we have Turkey, we have US. I know there are two Turkey that I've seen now. So yes, US is yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so that those are the countries I have connected today.
I
So we
love.
have people watching from Bahrain and other countries like that, but I'm not seeing them in the comments section. So guys, if you're connected, let's see you active in the comment section. Don't say, hey Lucy, you didn't call my country. I know the people, so we have a lot friends from China, friends from generally for the page. We have people from China, we
Okay.
have people from Bahrain, people from UK, different so we are blessed that we are really that international.
So
And
I want to say one more thing
okay.
before you ask me more questions. So I love hearing people from international places. I'm in the US, but just hearing that there are people from all sorts of countries is amazing. What's even more important is, where are you? Like, you might be in Turkey, you might be somewhere in one continent or one country or another, but really, where are you? You, not your physical location, but where are you? Are you in your purpose is the first question. And one of the things that helped me know that I needed to be aware that I was actually in my purpose, or where I need to go with my purpose, was going on a retreat. You know what I mean? Getting out of my normal area, my normal space. But even if you can't do a retreat and go, out of the country to a new place to, enjoy and find yourself, retreat into yourself, retreat back to that little girl or that young man that wanted to be a drummer, but then someone told you had to be a doctor. You can be a doctor and a drummer. I think a lot of times we think our purpose is always going to pay the bills, and it won't. You do
Yeah,
sometimes have
exactly.
to,
That's true.
right, you still have to do those things that pay the bills, but you can also create the time, even if it doesn't seem like it's there, to do those things that help fulfill the real you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
without even, because I was blessed to be able to, see another, go overseas last year, you know what I mean, on a retreat. And that was amazing. And it really just let me see that people around the world are all the same. And we all are just vessels, you know what I mean, made for his use ultimately. And if you're not in your purpose, then you can't be used appropriately. And I just I don't want to leave my life and number one, see God and he say, depart from me, I never knew you. Cause oh my gosh, Lord Jesus, help me. Cause that's pretty much what we're supposed to
Yeah.
live for. But at the same time, um, when I don't want to take risks, when I don't want to do those things that are a little out of my comfort zone, I appreciate that faith and that love and retreating into the truth and love, like going into who I am and where I am in him. That's what sustains me. And that's what's going to sustain your purpose. And that's what's going to enlarge your capacity so that, you may think you're only influencing people locally, but now you have an audience all around the world, whatever your business or whatever your purpose might be. You may be a teacher too. And, you feel like at the end of the day, they didn't get it, but what they know is that you cared about them, and they will then know how to care about others and all of their children and their generation. So it's really legacy. It's deeper than just where we are now. It's where those we influence and impact are and where they will be and where their families will be. And it's just so, you have to be intentional. I don't feel like I'm intentional all the time. I feel like I'm just kind of, taking it one step at a time. And I guess that's what intentionality is really just breathing, taking a moment and letting God really just truly help you make those steps to be exactly where you should be. So I'm very blessed to be on here and to hear that, so many people around the world are here. And I hope that your world is also filled and blessed by your presence and your purpose, even though I can't see you, I can't see the comments. But I'm glad I did this because I was like, whoo, I'm not trying to get on here today. I just want to stay in bed. I just want to watch some TV, read a book. And so I'm grateful that I was pushed out of my comfort zone. I knew it was purpose. It's one of those things when you don't really feel like it, but it's supposed to be. That's purpose.
Yeah.
You just show up. And that's the last thing I'll say. To be present and progressive, you have to show up, even when you don't want to. Just show up. That's all.
Oh, you said something. The one of the other thing that align with what Raphael said, progressive. That's a word.
Mm-hmm.
Present and progressive. So that's why I said there's a lot of consistency. Like when people communicate in the spirit,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I really appreciate and love people who are intentional. Like even if it's a sermon, it's a passage, the consistency of something. They may not say preach on the same topic,
Right.
but you get some consistency in the message or the way the message is being passed. Really first, I really appreciate you to come here, share with us your light. It's really a blessing to me personally. I know many people are listening to you, are blessed by the wisdom you're sharing. So guys, let's see in the comments. Now, let everybody at this point first of all type what we have learned or we've taken so far from these conversations, because repetition or when people I hear people when they want to make fun of motivational speakers. So these people who say things are impossible, the truth is that's what faith it is. Faith is when you say things that have not yet happened, right? Assurance of things not seen. And the things we profess with our mouth really makes those information to become permanent. So repetition makes things permanent. That's why typing, saying it loud, like positive things, people say words of affirmation. But once you give in positive energy to yourself, for example, you have an anger, you say, oh God, I'm more than this. Just saying that, for example, help you to overcome that particular situation. So progression, in Raphael's words now, we all as human beings are reducing. And if we know that we continuously reduce, we have to intentionally B, adding something to ourselves. And that is where progression comes in. So if you are connected here, this is a year going to an end. Have you gone backward? Have you gone forward? That is what it is living intentionally. We don't sometimes take our time to really do this reflection like, hey, where was I last year? And in now Mrs. McCray words, that's how I capture my I should say I repeat them to keep it first to myself. So in Mrs. McCray words, once you are able to identify your purpose, what should we do? We should live in the now and progress, right? So
Mhm.
if we have to live in the now and progress, we have to know where we are. And where we are, she has emphasized that it's not just a physical, I'm in Czechia, I'm in the US. Yes, it's good. But where you are you according to your purpose, that is beyond the physical body, where the physical body is. Where are you with regards to your purpose? So that's an amazing question that we should really repeat it, ask ourselves over and over and over and over. And I know if we do that, we'll have better results and increase our productivity. So far, we're talking to wait to see some people had amazing questions, but I have not seen any question. I've just seen some hearts, some thumbs up. So, guys, by the way, guys, send some hearts if you love to have Mrs. McCray again and again because she thinks she's going to run after this session, but I'm not. I don't think so. Is someone with me?
Too funny.
Like she thinks after this session like that, she
Mhm.
won't see me.
Yeah, I checked my box. What you talking about?
Or she won't come here. She'll be in the background, but we want her. I want to have her more often, right?
Oh, no.
Is there any person who's here with me? So, by the way, I type questions, so I came prepared to learn. So, I have please some few questions for you. Um, Obviously, your life for me, it's what a lot of people because a lot of concepts that people don't understand, and when things are not properly understood, they are being attacked.
Mm.
And I really, really learn a lot from you. First, in the way you carry yourself, the boundaries you set. How for me, the predict how can I put it? Is it predictor or indicator? Any of those words? The indicator for me to identify someone who is intentionally living is to see the type of boundaries they have. That is, do this person even have a boundary? This person have some core values, and if I'm able to give that this is a person's priorities and this is the order, this order is not changing, this is what the person actually value most, that makes me to know that that person is intentional. And I just also want to say, connected to us, we have young people, we have old people. So your message may be to someone who's even 20 years old, maybe like your son. So this message is obviously very needful to some people at this point and this stage of their life. Some people, for me as a person, I face the reality that some people don't have their parents,
Mhm.
so that is one of the things that give me like I sure because there are things I've learned from my grandparents. Some people didn't meet their grandparents, so it's real. And there are some things that I didn't learn in school, I learned at home. So growing up, I don't expect like some people didn't have opportunity to learn these things, and it's difficult for them as adults to understand that hey, this thing you're thinking is not like that. So that is why intentionally I try my best to show the lady I know, and also I'm open to always learn from other people. My very, very first question to you, please.
3 questions. You got 3 questions.
Oh, just three?
That's 3.
Okay, then I have
Pick 3.
to select because I had a long list.
No, we got to shorten the list.
I had a long list, guys. You trust me, right? So help me to ask her more questions so that she wouldn't go. So if I ask three and you ask three, that makes sense. Okay, my first one, what can you say is your main differential observation between those who are living in accordance to their purpose and those who are not living in accordance to their purpose?
Hmm. Um, Good question. I feel like there's a rat race. People say rat race
Mm.
because
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
in experiments they would set up different. Maybe they would give a rat some type of medicine and put it in a cage and let it run, and it's running wild and it's doing
Mhm.
things, but it's just doing it because it's there, and it might be under the influence of something. So if you're in a rat race, you're probably under the influence of survival, survival
Mm.
mode, um, desperation, um, or just, I don't want to say people pleasing because that's not always the term. That's a little deeper than what I'm
Mhm.
thinking about, but just under the influence of well meaning people that want
Mhm.
to see something for your life, right?
Mhm.
But just like Lucy said, she wanted to go to a school and no one else wanted her to go to that school. And you had to make a decision about whether you were going to stay under the influence of everyone that cares about you and you care about them. Possibly, maybe the cost of that university was cheaper and closer and more convenient. Um, and be in that what I would call a rat race, or kind of running around. There's a phrase called running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Like you're just moving and going and you're doing things, but are you really making the impact that you're supposed to make? Regardless of who wants you to be where, um, and what type of outcomes you have. There's a lot of people that have wonderful things going on. And people may look at him and say, "Oh, you only had 2 followers, only 5 people showed up to your thing," or to
Mhm.
me, that doesn't matter because,
Yeah, it
like I
doesn't.
said last week at the event, like, I see if you just can impact one person when you're in your
Yeah.
purpose, what if that one person were, you know, the next president? What if that one
True.
person then influenced their children, and one of their children's children becomes, um Gandhi or whoever else, the world may esteem as someone of value. So the difference between I've observed, and I've been guilty myself of moving in purpose versus just moving and doing in business, regular business as usual, is
Mhm.
just really number one, like you said, that intentionality of it all. And two, um, it's really a sacrificial life. Like you don't
Yeah.
necessarily get the glitz and the glam, and I'm not the type person, I don't like to be on screen, so that's my only hesitation when I say, because I don't mind speaking to people, but I don't necessarily want to be on the internet. So yeah, so the difference is just there's a piece in being in your purpose, and it's not a piece that is just for yourself, but it exudes into all and who you influence. And you're not under the influence of anything, anyone else except for God.
Mhm.
That's where purpose will take you.
Ooh. Ooh. That was deep. Thank you so much. Napsol, welcome in. That is, he's connecting from Bowen. He says this is just so interesting. Thank you for that feedback and welcome. So thank you everybody. So by the way, this question was not just to Mrs. McCray, but to everybody who's connected.
Mm-hmm.
What will you say is the difference between those living in accordance to their purpose and those who are not living? I don't want to say those who are actually she's escaping from some words. That is the same way I'm escaping from using some words. So what would you say is your own observation? I go 105, or in fact 100% with everything she said. Because for me, as I said earlier, I just check the priorities. What is your number one? Once I get that, every other thing you do, I can relate. Once I get first someone's priorities, not just the priorities, but the priority order, the perspective of life, the purpose, I'm good. That's why sometimes before people say something, I'm always at this point of saying, I know my people. So if you
Mhm.
get that coming loud, it's because it's the truth. Like there's some things that before someone say, and that fact I already know. Like this is what the person is going to say because I already got your mindset and I know the way you process things. So at that point, I just do my best, not trying not to cut people short from talking, allow them talk. Go, go, go. And guess what? Most of the time, you're just affirming what I know. So that's why I really love having Mrs. McCray here. From what she said and what I said at the beginning, so what I mean about intentional living, not everybody is even observant. People are just in that rat race living. They really don't take time to analyze, like, is there a difference in being intentional? Is there a difference between living your purpose or not? So, guys, share in the comment section. By the way, Mrs. Mike wants to know your thoughts as well, what your observations are, what your
Mhm.
differences are. That is also, if you love what you said, she said, you can send some hearts and let her know. We are creative and independent minds, and of course, your words count. So my next question, why um we are sharing our thoughts in the comment section. My next question to her, because I really appreciate her being with us, and I know how much she has sat with this. She maybe was supposed to be in a game somewhere, but she's like, today I'm coming in. I'm really blessed. And I wouldn't let you go. I have to make some questions, make sure I have at least 3/4 of what I need to receive before I let my Elijah go.
So silly.
Okay. I'm 100% in support of what she said. That is from that song, um, Speed. So he's just agreeing with all what you said, like me.
Thank you.
Okay, so my next question to you, I have seen you very peaceful. As a human being, personally, I really admire people based on what they have within. Personally, I really don't get moved with. This person has a PhD. This person is working in the father is a dad. That's what I was used to hearing going, but those things really didn't move me because I saw those people that maybe were ministers at some point. They got to position they couldn't cross, and for me that made me to know that the important things are really not the physical, it's what is inside, and you have a certain level of peace that any person who comes and when you feel it. When you're up, you're down, and I've seen you when you're up, when you're down, and I'm really, really always proud of you and really blessed to know you. So my next question is according to like how can I put this question? Because I want to make sure that I'm asking two questions at once.
Uh-oh.
That is a goal. Like, yes, of course, I know not ask all my 200 questions, but not for me only because I want to learn. I want to know more. I know that so many people also want to know more. Let me ask it this way. What will you say you enjoy most living in accordance to your purpose? And first, as a wife. Second, as a model. Third, as an educator. And fourth, as an entrepreneur.
What do I enjoy most
Yes.
in purpose?
Mm-hmm.
It's the adventure. So, because purpose is reliant on really our creator and our father's just spirit and his spirit in you, you know, what he's speaking in the moment, because God is present and progressive too. Like he's not just
Yeah,
the
exactly.
God in the Bible where everything that's said was already said and he's not saying or speaking anything in the present. So there's a certain adventure to walking in purpose because you don't really 100% know how your day is going to go. Of course, there's external things that'll come along and create certain situations and circumstances that you have to respond to. But the adventure is because you're settled on the inside. Now, mind you, I am no poster child. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm an expert on anything. I'm just figuring it out one day at a time, just like everyone else. But for instance, as a wife, um, The adventure could just be conversations, unexpected conversations about the most trivial things. It's those funny moments when you're truly at peace in where you are and who you're with. Um, and marriage isn't easy, but it is an adventure. So I guess just allowing God to listening to him. I think the whole adventure is the piece of listening and hearing what God is speaking to you. And like, don't think God just says you have to do, like there's this big dark voice that comes and says and dictates like a narrator. It's not that. Sometimes you might watch a movie and it incites you, to a thought or an action, or you're reading a book, or you're hearing a song on the radio, or your kids might say something. But the adventure is what God may tell me or my husband to do or not do or to say that makes the journey of being together not just interesting, but purposeful and meaningful. So in my personal life, I think it's an adventure coming home. Like, I never know what my husband's going to say. I'll never know what he's, what God has downloaded into him, or what he wants to share with me. And it's just mind bending, just being able to have those conversations about whatever we're conversing about. It's an adventure. So for motherhood, so my youngest is 10. She's our only girl. And then our oldest is 23, I think. And I feel bad because I feel bad. And so we have a range in between, and 2 are in college, and 1's in trade school, and 2 are in regular grade school. And so it's trade school and grade school. That's an adventure. So when you're in your purpose, and I think purpose is mainly a commitment, and you don't always know what exactly you've committed to, because let's just say you get married and then, you say for better or for worse, but what if the worst is, your spouse can't use his foot anymore? You know what I mean? And he has, that's extreme, but it's happened and it could happen. So the adventure is just being committed to the purpose, or to the marriage, or to motherhood. And then regardless of what externally or internally may come up, it's just walking it out with a God who loves you, and God has a sense of humor. So God is like said and done, or allowed things to happen. And I'm like, okay, I see what you did there. And sometimes it's sarcastic. And I think it's different. It's a different relationship for everyone based on who you are with, with your Heavenly Father. So I can't say, if you're not having any fun with God, then you might need to talk to him a little more, because I guarantee you he's more interesting than just, some God we put on a box, like on a shelf, like a genie. God is not a genie. He's not here for us to say, oh, let me pray today for this and God better give it to me. That's not who he is. You need to get to know him. But anyway, so the adventure in everything is really just the commitment in the unknown factors. I'm a person, I used to say I don't like surprises, but I don't know what I would do in my life without them, because it's pretty much my whole life has been a surprise. Every bit of it. So even in the educational piece, like it's an adventure walking into, let's just say when I was working at the college, you know what I mean? It was adventure there every day, because you don't know what your students have been through, what stories they're going to share, what their needs are, how you're going to meet them, sometimes with or without resources. But it's the same thing as an educator with young minds, like super young minds that are just coming to know even who they are as a human, not alone, their wants and their feelings and desires and their needs. So that's an adventure. You can imagine having, 24 6-year-olds, running around, and it's an adventure. So I guess the answer to your question is, what do I enjoy most about being in purpose in these various aspects of my life, is the adventure. And then for the entrepreneurship, I think this year I've helped a couple of people and finished some book projects that were long overdue. One lady's, she's from California, and I mean, an amazing book. And I can't wait to share, or even have her on for a live one time on my own. Just hearing people's stories and the experiences of their lives, and those external and internal issues and factors, and how they allow them to become lessons to build them up to be a better person, and the best version of yourself, as it said on the flyer. So I threw that in there finally. But to be that best version of yourself, you have to be committed. You have to be committed to the purpose. You have to be committed to God. And then he's going to send you the people who will commit to you. And everybody's not here forever in your life. Some people are just around for a season. And so that commitment doesn't have to be a lifelong loyal, oh, I'm always and only going to, deal with you. But it's a level of respect and love that makes every relationship help build each other up. It's not one-sided. So God put me in I call it a divine partnership recently, where the young lady I did the event with last week, we're kind of on a similar journey in life and are stepping outside of our own comfort zones to do what we believe God's having us to do. And that's just the adventure, because you just never know. You never know what's going to happen, but you do know it's for a purpose. It's for his purpose. And if you do it on purpose, everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right.
Maybe I needed to take some. Guys, it's this is what happen when you talk with people who are intentional. Like, there's never a moment like you really assume you know exactly what's coming out, because they're going to process it, then give it in another form that maybe you've never received. And so I'm just grateful for that insight. And for all watching, I know this December, first of all, I said marriage wife. I'm very intentional, if you know. So when I said marriage, I am not married. I have people who are married, I have people who are not married, like me, people who don't want to be married, people who that, but why do I want people like these who come to share your story? Because there are different things you hear from different people. And I just want to share that it depend on your priorities, perspective, and purpose. Some don't even have these things, some just do things for fun. But I'm really honored to tell them from the first day I met Mrs. Mikwe, we actually talk on um on a Teams or Zoom. No,
Okay.
not Zoom.
Teams.
Teams or WebEx. One of Teams, okay.
Teams.
Meeting, but I could tell you her priorities, like God, family. It was stated before every other thing. I remember there was one meeting we rescheduled. That's before I ever met her in person. We rescheduled because she said, I'm going to pick up my son at somewhere. So for me, we as now to mostly the young people, before we get into partnership, as she always calls it, when she talk about marriage, there's keyword I always hear from her is partnership, teamwork, what's like that, communication, commitment. These are things that you have to build within yourself. These are things that even go into business, because I'm telling you for a fact that she's not the other one. There are amazing people who apply these things, and when you're around them, you learn. When you're around them, you see how they are really peaceful doing what they do. She's doing business, she has great ideas. So by the way, another thing I like about her, it's her creative idea, ink speak. That one she knows. I'm always going to advocate for that. Like, ink speaks. Every human being has a story. So the day I met her, this was the statement she made first. When I met her in person, she's like, every person has a story. What's your own story? That I never forget. So she's this person who really like to listen to other people's story, and that could be you. And that is to say, you can also have a story, and you want, like last week she talked about the creative push, which is still one of her creative ideas, and it's really a blessing to see how she's really growing in her ideas. See how she's growing, like her children, she's everywhere. She's at this person's game. I'm like, how do you do it? Like, she's always trying to be there for me. So guys, this is a blessing mostly, as I say, to the younger ones, or to us who are still to get to where she is at different areas. Maybe you have a business idea, you have a book you want to write, you see thinking you want to get married, you're scared because of the divorces and everything happening, the madness, whatever. Is to say, okay, what's your purpose? Come back to that space, and what are you ready to commit to, and like, what are you supposed to do? So thank you so much. So guys, let's hear from everybody connected. What are your thoughts? What do you do? Or what do how can I put it? The same question I sent you, which is, living in your purpose, how does it affect you in every areas of your life? That's how I summarize it. So let me know. Living into your purpose, for me, it gives me more peace. and somebody who really naturally very ambitious, and I know that. And the reason why sometimes people reject what I say, but now a lot of people, mostly my family, have understood that they don't argue me. Like when it comes to my goals, because before I say things out, I must have processed it for like 1 year before I voice it out. So it takes now, you don't just come one day and say no because of your own fears. That is just the reason. So a lot of the time, when growing up, it was because I used to see things like where I want to be in future. Maybe the finances at that moment is not there. Maybe stuff are not aligned. So people were like, no, it's not possible. But I'm gonna look for, so I look for my network. I even have my like primary school headmistress. There's another one that she had to partner with me together with my grandma to achieve. And I had even my secondary school principal, Mr. Boklo. So there's a time I went to his office, I met him like, this is what I want, like this, and he really helped me. And so I'm just saying that we all have great things in us, and sometimes people may not understand. And I really love having different people. That's the main deal, or the vision behind Creative Minds, to bring different people, share their different stories from different angles, different culture, different upbringing, so that we all can learn. Wise people learn from other people's mistakes. I don't assume any person is perfect. So that's why we don't give room on this page or our channel for negative comments. No, it's totally a no. So we know every one of us is a work in progress, as we always say. Every one of us is trying to shine his or her unique light in his or her own way. And of course, we are not the same. So we have different weaknesses, we have different things we are still hoping or trusting God for. But again, we have a lot to still learn from each other. And that's why I always appreciate and want to say, if you have the dream of writing a book, you can really contact Mrs. McQueen. Because when I need motivation or writing, I can't. By the way, she helped me to read, like proofread my thesis. So she was my backup. So I'm really blessed to have her.
My
So you said three questions. So I still have one question, right?
I don't know. That was a power pack question you just asked. I feel like you just asked me a four-part question in one. You had wife, mother, educator. What do you enjoy in
But
purpose?
I still have just one. So
That was
I
a
had
lot.
to mark 10 questions, and can I please ask you
All
one?
right, all right. That's fine. No, let me
Good.
not sound reluctant. And honestly,
Guys,
purpose, you can sometimes be a little bit reluctant.
Johnny
And it's okay.
Allen,
As long as you
thank
do it.
you. Yeah, someone. Johnny Allen
Uh
says
huh.
so proud of you, Sonia McCoy.
Oh. Thank you. Praise God.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Let me ask my one question. Please feel free. If you have a question, ask her. She will generously answer you. I know she wants to learn, but we have. In fact, God has blessed us to have her today.
She can.
Okay, so my last question: what will be your ideal take-home message for a 9 years old ready to start living according to his or her purpose? Somebody, these videos, one thing with social media is that you never know who's watching this video. And it's going to be ageless. As you're forwarding, I won't be able to control who is seeing it and who's not going to see it. A 9 years old, 10 years old, 2 years old may watch this video. By the way, matter of fact, my niece, she's 6 years old, called me yesterday. Auntie Lucy, I was watching your video on YouTube.
Oh,
So I'm like, what video? So that is just to say, a lot of people, even younger ones, may watch you are watching it. So what would you give as a take-home message for someone who just watch the video? You've talked amazingly about purpose, the importance of living in purpose. What would be your take-home message?
okay. So first, um, hey cuz. So that was my cousin that said proud of you. So
Okay.
hey cuz, hey. Um, 9 years old. So my daughter's 10,
Okay.
going on 17 feels like. So a 10-year-old today is very wise. A 6-year-old today is a lot more knowledgeable than maybe when we were 6 or 9, you know. So to any young person who is still under the care and dependent on a parent, guardians. First of all, my advice to find your purpose would be just to start early with just conversating with God, like starting to build a prayer life young, starting to know and remember that, and prioritizing that, because it's hard after you have years and years of with smartphones. Like we didn't grow up with smartphones, like they didn't come out with smartphones till after I was after I left college. So for a child who has all these things, these devices, these places vying for their attention, if they can start as young as possible, prioritizing the God that we say we love, but we don't often put first. So if you're not able to first thing in the morning say something to God, as opposed to picking up a phone and scrolling on social media, or picking up a phone and watching a YouTube, or turning on TV and watching something. Now, mind you, when I was 9 years old, I think I probably slept with my TV on. I remember always waking up to the same infomercial. They used to have these R&B soul tracks and CDs and tapes, and they'd be selling them. So I just remember it was always the same commercial on when I woke up on the TV. So I'm not saying at 9 I had this down, or that it's always going to happen, but to put it out there that if you can start building that relationship and you start knowing who God is and who he is in you and what you're capable of because of him, then I think your latter years will be much more easier. So that's number one, to purpose, because purpose is always, you can't have a creator and be the created entity and not rely on your creator for your purpose. Like what is the point? Like I can't go do pottery, which I don't do, but I would love to try, build a bowl and then put it on top of my head, or someone puts it on top of their head and say, hey, it's a hat. You know what I mean? They can do that.
Yeah.
But to know who you are and be in your purpose, you got to know who made you and why. So you got to talk to him. So that'd be my first thing to say to a 9 or 10 year. If they can get that down, they get anything down. But my other advice would be stay under his influence and not under the influence of everyone else, especially peers, because they're just as, running around trying to figure out themselves as much as you are, and to be confident in who you are and who God made you to be young. Because I know a lot of times we switch up who we are and what we want and what we like because of our little friends, and they don't like going to the skating rink, so I'm going to go bowling, or I'm going to try to act grown. No, you just have to be confident in, hey, I'm special. I was made for a reason. I don't need to do what you want me to do. And that especially goes for peers. Now, parents and authority, we all have to sit under authority, but authority is not always right.
Yeah.
And as a child, they can feel that. Kids and animals are very sensitive. I think they're closer to the heart and the love of God than we are, because we start to filter things out in life just because of our experiences and traumas and things. We see things and experience life through a filter, but kids are more innocent. And that's why God said, come to him as a little child, because they can feel, they know when an adult has bad intentions. They know when, you know what I mean? But they start to learn how to turn that off to just be accepted. And, we're not here to be accepted totally, just to be in with the in crowd and following all the trends. Like, you have to be bold enough, even at a young age, to have your own boundaries. And it's not easy for every child, because some children are under certain forms of oppression from people that aren't well-meaning, unfortunately. But so to just prioritize knowing the creator, and building that relationship, to being confident and bold in who you are and your identity and who he made you to be, as opposed to being drawn away by the desires of others for your life. I think those are the two main things I would emphasize to a 9-10-year-old to try to embody, and just keep the distractions away by filling his or her minds and ears and eyes with those things that push them back towards God and back towards who they are, as opposed to, I'm going to watch any YouTube or any television show or any movie. You got to have boundaries. You can't just fill your mind and your ears with all sorts of things and then expect to have, God shine when he, like I said, he's not a genie. So you can't just ignore him 364 days a year. And then the one day you need him, you expect that, everything's just going to be exactly how you want it. So just to stay focused on what matters, build that relationship and to be bold, confident in yourself. So that's what I would tell little 9-year-old Lucy, a little 9-year-old Sonia. And then hopefully we'll make all those decisions that were our decisions. And when you mess up, you just mess up and you ask for forgiveness and you forgive yourself and you got to keep it moving. Um, so for the adventure of the next day, God doesn't expect us to be perfect, but he will perfect that which concerns us. And that is a scripture. I don't know where it is, but it's a scripture. So that's word.
Thank you so much, guys. That's why I call her the epitome of wisdom, right? So it's really been a great conversation. We know for all those who are joined, or we hope for all those who have watched it, we have something amazing to take home. She has said everything and maybe more than what she thought she had to say. And I am so just blessed to have her in my life, and that's why I tell people that everything indeed happened for a reason. If you're intentional, even the things that you didn't like, I used to ask myself, God, did I need to get a second master's? Do I need to pass through all these madness, all this stuff? But if you really sit back to say, okay, it's because I met my great people like this. It was for you, though you passed through this road, it was for you to get to this other point, for you to see things in different ways. You indeed will be very, very appreciative of every moment. And so I just really want to encourage the 9 years old and every other person, just as my big sister has been saying, at the end of the day, we want to rely ourselves a lot. Let's tell ourselves the truth. That's just what I say. Rely ourselves a lot. We pretend a lot. Let's face our reality. I've just come to realize that the more we tell ourselves the truth, the more you. If I'm broke, and now I call my family, I'm like, I'm broke. Nobody stresses me. But if you're broke and you try to make like, oh, everything is, you get
Mm,
it, you have that unnecessary stress. If you are not fine, I'm like today not in that mood, and you have people you can really talk to and they listen. That's the essence. So, but being intentional doesn't mean, oh, you won't have any stress. No, but so talking about the peace and the fruit that comes in living your purpose, which we talked about, is just understanding that at the end of the day, once you face your real identity, you're in your real self, you are in the real position. Like my example I shared for creative and independent minds, taking a fish out of water to land will obviously cause that fish to stress. Not because land is not good, though. That is not the niche. That is not where the fish is supposed to serve. So it's in an unfavorable environment for that fish. But guess what? That's where some of us need to be on land. So that is to say, everything about purpose is personal. She has really put it well today. And the more we focus like on our own journey, that's the reality. Oh yes, this is me, this is where I am now, this is where I'm heading to. It makes you to see clearly what God is saying. But if we keep looking left, what is this person doing? What did she say? What do she want me to do? Those are the distractions. And to end this video, I saw a video just yesterday before I went to bed, like the last thing I watched. The video talks about holiness prevent addiction, and I can really say it's true. In this country, a lot of people are addicted without knowing. Drugs, alcohol, fashion, those are still addiction. Oh, I need this car coming, you need the latest phone. One thing I know about both of us, for example, that we share in common is the fact that we don't care about what phones we are using. Honestly, I saw you call and you just and you can do what you can do, but the people who really are like, oh, the latest phone is coming out. It's not like don't buy those phones, but as she said, let those things not be the focus. Have your purpose and what God is telling you to do. So hopefully all questions are being answered. If you have a question that we were not able to answer with regards to purpose, feel free to share in the comment section. As we always do, we do our best to share what we can. And if it's something that need to be fully addressed that I can't handle, Obviously, we're going to have it like the next topic as we do. So that is to say, even after the live session and your video, your questions are still welcome. If you want to direct it to her, trust me, I'll send it to her. She'll come out. By the way, she'll see the comments. So she's part of the family. So she's going to see comment. Any comment directed to her, I will shift for her to pour in the wisdom in it. Thank you everyone who has been to with us up to this moment. We've been live for about 1 hour. It's not that short. Um, Actually, for this year, we'll be trying to keep it between 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours, for a reason which is just to increase our watch hours and engagement. So we are actually trying to increase the engagement of the page, which well done to everybody. We have been doing an awesome job. Facebook have been sending congratulations, congratulations, your videos are doing good. But daily congratulations to me as supporters. I always say I believe a change in one person is a change in the whole community. What shall we gain if we all listen to all these things or have all the engagement? Then we don't change anything. So
Mm.
if this information we have is going to prevent somebody from depression, somebody from doing bad ways, that is the real achievement, guys. That is the real achievement. And we are still in Christmas season. Someone said, this season comes with a lot of depression as people are taking. The reality of life is some people had their loved ones with them last year, but this month they are not there.
Mm.
And that's why I say facing the reality. Once you face the reality, it naturally humbles you. Once we face like there's a video like a family, somebody borrowed money from someone years ago, about 50 years or no 72 years ago.
Mm.
Until today, the person is molding blocks to pay back that money with his family. That's all they do. They are not working to even pay get for no to pay that debt that they took 72 years ago. So imagine how old that person is with the wife and son trying every day under the sun to do that. When I saw that, I said, God, a lot of us are not really grateful of living in good homes, having food, and seeing what God is doing in our individual life. So I also just want to encourage us that to live in our purpose, gratitude is really key. If we can appreciate life, the main thing, because at the end of the day, if we don't bleed, all this purpose we talk about will make no sense. If you are somewhere in the ventilator, all you'll be thinking is how can I get out of here? That's what it is. And I know the people who have gotten to that position, like I always say this, COVID for me as a person, I didn't see it more as a a physical pandemic, I saw it as a spiritual pandemic. I was assuming that with these moments that people were not going to their job site, they will have more time to really reflect on their lives. Like, oh, I could just go like that because yeah, some people were healthy and COVID came. Their family still paying the consequence or suffering the consequences of COVID. There are people that they are still sick now because of COVID. There are people who families that their breadwinners went through to COVID and they are suffering, and those are the realities of our time. So I really just want to encourage us that we should be grateful and face our reality. That will help us and push for those who are not seeing reason to live in accordance to their purpose. Once you look the things happening around you, you face your own reality, you have enough motivation. You don't need any other person to motivate you that, oh, I'm more peaceful living my purpose. Once you face that reality that, oh, because sometimes also living in a country like America, gunshot every day. I'm from Boya, guys. I'm from Cameroon. And I'm from Bayangi to be precise, Manfe. And weeks ago, what happened? People were killed in their homes. Houses were burned down.
Mm.
And that is the fear. People stay in Manfi and they are not comfortable. What do you think can give them peace in a moment like this?
Mm.
What do you think? You sit and you know that your child can go to Walmart and will be shot. What do you think can give people peace? These are the realities that people don't ask real questions. And that's why I said, let's ask the real questions. Once we ask the real questions, we face our realities, we'll be more grateful for what we have. And now we'll be more in that position to ask God, what do you want me to do? Because you know you did nothing different than all the people who were shot, the people who are sick. Because sometimes when things don't happen to us as humans, natural instincts is like, I could do better. This person did not do that. did not do that, but trust me, you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you don't know. So this is really something I wish every one of us take out of this message. If you decide not to live purposefully, you kind of, a lot of people are money. If it's, I say Afen Cap, Cameroonians know. When I say Afen Cap, it's about money. Where is money? Any post I drop about money, I always say, I have a lot of comments. When I post about Jesus, purpose driven, I know what happens. So that's why I'm speaking this way. Why do people run from the real talks? It's because we are not facing a reality. We are living in the artificial version of things, the superficial. You're looking things superficially. We don't ask those deep questions. What if I die today? That is the real question. Ask it. What if tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
I don't get up? What if? Yes, all those things are important. But ask those three questions, and that will make you to live your life differently. And to me, honestly, that's why when I get up each day, I have my dad, I have my mom, I'm blessed. But hey, I'm not living for them. They have done their own part. They're doing their own part. But I have my own purpose. Why God choose to kill me each day. So that's where I really get peace from it. That hey, at this point of my life, I'm not working to please anybody. Mm-mm. I'm just doing what God wants me to do, and there is so much
Mm-hmm.
peace in that. Like so much compared to when I was just trying to be the best student, do have the good grades, have this, and make everybody happy.
Yeah.
Eh, eh. So this is where we end for today. Mrs. Mukwe, do you have anything to say?
I do. Thank you again for having me on your wonderful show. I mean, you're saying a lot of things that Miss McCrae this, Miss McCrae that. I just know that to have a young mind like yours inspire people weekly and daily because you are a light like every day. Don't call me because you're just gonna, make my day 10 times better. Um, so I'm just grateful to have someone from you to learn from. So we always think that wisdom has to come from someone older and, more experienced, but it does not. I tell you, my 6, 7 year old grader, first graders, they tell me things all the time. They're little prophets because, like I said, I think they're very in tune. So what I wanted to say last is that number one, and this goes into purpose, even if you don't hear how, treat everybody like they're a billionaire. So a lot of times we go through life.
Let me type that in the comment section.
I think we can really love like God wants us to love, which is the main purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, just know you're supposed to love folk, and that don't mean you have to, give them your money or even your time, but maybe you pray for them, maybe you look at them with love or with the heart of love. But if you really struggle with people or struggle to treat people the same because one person has a suit on and one person is on the side of the road, treat everybody like they're a billionaire because honey, if you are sick and in jail or wherever or downtrodden or money's not going to do anything for you. You know what I mean? What will do something for you is what's on the inside. So what we have on the inside is worth more than gold. It's worth more than $1 billion. So we got to stop looking at people and money, number one, as something that's great, but to help trick your mind, what I had to do at some point, when I got a little superficial, was like, listen, I'm gonna treat everybody like they're a billionaire, including myself. That don't mean I got to buy things, and that just means you just love like you're supposed to love. Honestly, everyone's that worthy and that valuable. Our souls are worth more than any dollar bill, any gold. So that's one thing. And number two, just be you. I love when people have that little slogan where it says be beautiful, but it's like BUYOU to full. Like that's the most beautiful thing you can be in the world, is to be yourself in a whole big world of pretenders. Or and I've um felt the weight of what we call imposter syndrome, but you are who you are, and don't let anybody kick you off of the throne of being the royalty of, as a child of God, that you are. And so, with that, enjoy the adventure of purpose, because it is an adventure if you really embrace it and you really don't try to stick yourself in the box of who I'm supposed to be. You really just listen to the voice of God daily and momentarily, every moment in every moment of your life. That's where the adventure lies. And mind you, adventures can get a little scary because I don't like roller coasters when it gets to that tip part of the top, that apex, and then you just gonna fall down and it feels like your stomach's in your throat. It's not always fun, but you know that it's meaningful and it the overall ride is going to be what exactly it should be for you. So enjoy your purpose. I'm learning how to be happy too, and just enjoy the things that I don't think I want to do. So enjoy the adventure. And just like Miss Lucy said, if you also think about, hey, this could be my last day on earth, would you want to do something in purpose, or would you just want to go, flip, do whatever you can quickly to make some money? You're not going to think about the money. You're going to say, hey, who can I connect with? How can I, enjoy myself? How can I love on somebody today? Because tomorrow's not promised. So enjoy it. Enjoy the journey.
Thank you so much. So great and amazing people connected. Um it's been a blessing, Sylvia, having you stay at this point. For all those who are connected, please, before you go, for those who are joining us for the first time, this Creative and Independent Minds program. So I know some people may be watching on YouTube. That is Brightest Light TV, and it's those who will be watching maybe through my profile of Miss or Mrs. McCray. So for the new people, Creative and Independent Minds just mean we all, as our main host of today have been saying, we all are unique, and we are just here to keep encouraging ourselves. Nobody knows it all. To keep working on our minds. I know that our mind or our purpose is not dependent on other people. That's why we have independent, because people see the word independent. I have family people have called me. I hope you're not thinking this. You're not a. I said, okay, I'm not. So people think about those things differently. Mostly as Africans, when you say you're independent, it's like you're bossy. So it's totally not in that direction. It's more in a humbling direction to say you don't need to just do fight to be like everybody, because sometimes we waste our entire lives trying to copy someone else. So that's where that independent is. That's the direction. Like, you don't need to copy me. You don't need to try to be. Thank you so much. We have thank you for the good encouraging words. That is from Kelly McLean. And you have Sylvia also very active in the comment section. So we are indeed a unique journey, and I always like to face my realities, and that's something I love about Mrs. McQueen. Like, when things are not moving, I know why I called. That's what it is. If I'm not going to pretend that, oh, all is well and I'm dying in silence. So if you understand that you're a light, and I always say science for me will do science, help me to understand even like my relationship with God at energy level, at molecular level, at different levels, and that's why we always like studying science. So there's this for those who know light in physics, light is a wave and a particle. So the wave like nature of light goes up, goes down, it's a sinusoidal. What does that mean? So if you say you're a light, why do I always share this thing? Because I understand people have different understanding of things. Like, people see the same things, but they don't understand the same level. So Brightest Light TV, which is the YouTube, is just encourage you as a light. But if you check Creative and Independent Mind and Brightest Light, you see the something. It's basically you're a light. Know that as a light, there are moments that you're at the top, there are moments you come down, you go up, come down. Go. There's no straight pattern as a light. You can be dim, you can become brighter, you can be dim, you can become brighter. And that's why when you are down, you apply what Mrs. McQuay said today: be in the now and in the progress. Look the next up. So if you are at the top, what keeps you humble also is knowing that you can be down next. That is what reality I face. Like, I know I'm a light, and of course I can be dim. Sometimes it's also for me to rethink. Sometimes for me to reposition. So it's not always the down moment, it's not always a bad moment. It's even a greater moment than the up moment, because that's what actually prepares you for the next up. If you're not able to manage fame, for example, when you become famous, fame will control you. If you're not able to control what you do with money, when you broke, when you have that money, money controls you. So we all are light. If you're joining this family, don't say, "Oh, I just joined today. I don't know what you're all about." You are officially part of the family, and I just wanted to say welcome, because you're a light, and we respect everybody's light. We are in different levels, different journey, and of course, we don't always have it all figured out. We are works in progress, so don't feel like, oh, you're not like educated like this person, or you are not from this tribe, you're not this religion. All those things don't matter here, as far as we all come together with the same positive energy, that we keep winning together. So thank you all, who are watching. And if you have not yet subscribed or follow, depending on where you're watching, do so. Firstly, so that you always have that notification too. I don't have everybody's here contacts, of course, and I don't always share. Sometimes you just see me, I just come live. I assume for those who have been following the program know when I'm live. So for that reason, so that you don't miss our next session, we have different hosts. Just to give us some spoiler alert, we may have again Dr. Pamela come with us. This is like the ending of the year. I'm trying to see if I can have her again. That's another powerful mind. Like, I just love the people God bless me with. That is something I get up each day. I really appreciate God for that. Having good people is more than having money, and that is something I'd never take for granted. So we may have her talk about a lot of things, because she's also from a scientific background. That's somebody also I really relate to. She's a pharmacist by profession, but she's also really open-minded. So if you see, I don't think people will fix minds here. I think people who are intentional, people who are open-minded, who know that people are in different level. If you're a doctor and you feel like you don't need to match people, I won't bring you here. It's as simple as that. So if you're maybe whatever you think you are and you can't relate with people at different levels, I don't think you are in the direction of creative and independent mind. So everybody who come here is a creative and independent mind, including you. So the next host may be you. So feel free to share with us your topic if you have any. Feel free to share with us, maybe your availability if you want to share anything. It's not I'm not your, how do you say, I'm not the boss, I'm not whatever word you want to use. So it's just like any person can take over the show. I really don't mind. I honestly don't mind. Like, I just had the idea, and I'm sure I've already shared the idea, and a lot of people have understood the concept that it's not just a page, but it is a mission, which means the things we learn here, we have to apply it in our day-to-day lives. That is what makes it manifest. So it's not just common life here. So any person who have topics in that area, I just wanted to say that please feel free to share with us. I welcome everybody, Muslim, whatever religion. As far you have the right mindset, we move. As far as you're creative and open mind, and you share your journey, because everyone has a story. So thank you guys very much. I've seen a question. Just have people saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So guys, before we go, can we all send some shout outs, some hearts, some love emojis to our amazing host, Mrs. McCray? It's not easy for you to have someone dedicate time. Time is more than money. And to me, I never take somebody's second for granted, not even have a second for granted. But she has been here. By the way, she joined minutes before the live actually started. So which means she has dedicated about 2 hours of her Saturday time. It's not just time, Saturday time, work from Monday to Friday. Saturday you want to sleep, you want to rest, you want to do something funny. But she really took out her time to show up here. It's something we really don't take for granted. And really, I know words are not enough for me to say thank you. Um, so, guys, send her some hearts, send her some lovely messages. If you have some questions for her, send it in the comment section. Today we are free because we don't see much people active on YouTube. YouTube, unfortunately, well, for copyright issue, I don't know why, or policy, whatever community guidelines. Most of the comments on YouTube, I don't see them after the live session, but for every other platform, I think we are good. So most of our comments today have been from Facebook. So we should be able to see all your comments after. So if you have a question, and those who are, no, Saturdays, working days also, on occasions and different things, and people are somewhere else. So if you're one of those who watch this video after, and at that point you watch, you still have a question, feel free to drop it in the comment section and let's all know your thoughts about this particular topic, your thoughts about the discussion, if you felt it was well handled, or if you felt maybe we should talk more next time on something. We are very open to learn. So feel free to share that with us. So Emma said thank you very much, our amazing guest. And I see some people send some hearts. So just to say, Mrs. McRae, we are really blessed to have you with us today. It's been a great session, and every other person have a blessed weekend. See us all next week, same time, 12:30 Eastern time. West African time, those connecting from Cameroon, from Nigeria, is 6:30 your time, 6:30 p.m. And we can use that to know, like I know Emmanuel is watching from Turkey. We have people here, Nepso is from Bahrain. We have people so from the different time zones I've given. I know with Cameroon time, those who are Cameroonians, you can easily relate. Those who are Nigerians and those who are in the US can obviously use the Eastern time. Or to say we appreciate you too. All your comment, your time is not taken for granted. We are here and we kept talking because you were also here. And it's really a blessing to have you all. Stay blessed. Bye bye.